Andy Ruiz has stepped into the conversation ahead of the massive Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul showdown on December 19th. And he is not mincing words. The former unified heavyweight world champion and one of the very few men to beat Joshua as a professional has sent a clear, public message to Jake Paul. You can hurt him, and you already have the weapon to do it. Ruiz, who shocked the world back in 2019 when he stopped Anthony Joshua in the 7th round at Madison Square Garden, believes the problem child has more a chance than many people are willing to admit. Speaking during a charity event in Los Angeles, the Mexican heavyweight laid out, in simple terms, what he sees as a key to beating Joshua, the same key he used on that unforgettable summer night in New York. When asked what advice he would give Jake Paul for the December 19th fight, Ruiz didn't hesitate. Just hit him with the right hand. He said, that's what Jake Paul is looking for, the right hand. And if he connects, he can do some good damage. For Ruiz, it's not a complicated blueprint. In his view, Joshua has shown vulnerability to that shot before. And if Paul can land his version of it clean, the fight can change very quickly. Ruiz even went a step further, spelling out what he believes is a technical weakness in the former two-time heavyweight champion. Paul just has to attack him with his right hand. That's Joshua's weak point, Ruiz added. Coming from a man who dropped and stopped Joshua in one of the biggest upsets in heavyweight boxing history, that assessment carries weight. Ruiz is not a YouTube critic or a casual observer. He's been in there with Joshua twice. He's felt the power, and he's found the openings. For fans who remember that first Ruiz versus Joshua fight, the comment brings back vivid memories. Back in June 2019, Ruiz came in as a late replacement and a heavy underdog. Joshua put him down early, but Ruiz responded with sharp counters, particularly with hooks and right hands over the top. Once he found his timing, he walked Joshua down, forced mistakes, and ultimately forced a stoppage in the 7th round at Madison Square Garden. That night turned Ruiz into Mexico's first heavyweight champion and changed the trajectory of Joshua's career. Now, years later, Ruiz is telling Jake Paul to tap into a similar approach. Don't let Joshua get comfortable. Don't let the size difference intimidate you. And do not be afraid to let that right hand go. That point about fear is crucial in his eyes. The former champion emphasized that Paul has to walk into the ring believing he belongs there. Even though Joshua is the more experienced and naturally bigger man, Ruiz made that mindset crystal clear during his conversation with reporters at the Los Angeles charity event. He pointed out that he himself went into the Joshua fight facing a clear physical disadvantage on paper. Joshua was taller, leaner, and more imposing, but Ruiz refused to be intimidated. He trusted his hand speed, his chin, and his heart. He believes Paul has to do the same thing. Respect the opponent, but don't let the image of a former world champion freeze you. Many people underestimate Jake Paul, but he's actually a good fighter and he's dedicated. And that's what I like about him, Ruiz said. It's a notable endorsement coming from a former world champion who has shared the ring with some of the best heavyweights of this era. Ruiz went on to explain that he has been paying attention to Paul's journey, from social media star to full-time boxer, and he sees genuine commitment, not just a stunt. Ruiz highlighted Paul's discipline as one of his biggest assets. Over the last few years, Jake Paul has gone from fighting fellow influencers to sharing the ring with former MMA champions and professional boxers. He's invested in real trainers, real camps, and real sparring, including work with full-size heavyweights. According to Ruiz, that work is starting to show. He's dedicated, Ruiz repeated, and that dedication can give him a real chance in the fight. That kind of respect from a veteran like Andy Ruiz adds an interesting twist to the build-up for Joshua versus Paul on December 19th. A lot of traditional boxing fans still see Jake Paul as an outsider, someone who came into the sport through YouTube and controversy rather than the amateur system or small local shows. Ruiz, however, is judging him by the work he's putting in now, his conditioning, his technique, and his willingness to step in against a dangerous opponent like Joshua. At the same time, Ruiz is not pretending that this is an easy task for Paul. The physical difference is real. Anthony Joshua is a natural heavyweight, a big-framed athlete with knockout wins over high-level opposition. Joshua carries serious punching power in both hands and has years of championship-level experience. But for Ruiz, none of that removes Paul's chance. What matters is whether Paul shows up prepared, relaxed, and ready to throw that right hand with conviction, even when he's under pressure. Ruiz's comments did not come from a press conference or a stage media tour. They came while he was participating in a community event in Los Angeles, which adds another layer to the story. The former heavyweight champion was at the new Village Girls Academy's turkey drive, helping distribute food to families in need ahead of the holidays. For Ruiz, who has long said he hasn't forgotten his own humble beginnings, events like this hold real personal meaning. The turkey drive took place against the backdrop of ongoing concerns about the SNAP/EBT program and food insecurity in many communities. Ruiz not only handed out turkeys and groceries, he took time to speak with families, pose for photos, and remind people locally that big-name athletes can still be present in their neighborhoods. His appearance there showed a different side of a man mainly known to the wider world for his knockout win over Joshua and his career in heavyweight boxing. It was during that same event that reporters caught up with him to talk about the state of the heavyweight division, his own future, and, of course, the headline-grabbing Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight on December 19th. The fact that Ruiz shifted seamlessly from talking about helping families to discussing strategy for one of the biggest crossover fights in recent memory reflects where he is in his life right now, balancing community work with a renewed focus on his own boxing career. Alongside his advice for Jake Paul, Ruiz shared an important update about his plans inside the ring. He confirmed that he is actively looking at options for a return in 2025. While he did not lock in an exact date or location, he made it clear that he does not just want a tune-up or a low-profile bout. He's aiming for a high-profile opponent, someone whose name can put him right back in world title conversations. Ruiz said he feels motivated, active, and ready to compete again in the heavyweight division. That will grab the attention of boxing fans who remember not only his stunning win over Joshua, but also his later fights. After losing the rematch to Joshua, Ruiz regrouped and picked up wins that showed he remains a threat when he's in shape and focused. Now, with a heavyweight scene as busy as ever in names like Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, Deontay Wilder, and Anthony Joshua still hovering around top, Ruiz knows there are big opportunities out there if he can get momentum going again. He didn't drop any official names for his comeback, but he hinted that he wants a fight that can revive his path back to a world title. That means a top 1-0, maybe even top 5 heavyweight, someone who would give him a shot at jumping straight back into the elite mix with a win. Ruiz is still only in his mid-30s, and with his experience, hand speed, and proven ability to pull off upsets, he remains a dangerous opponent for anyone at heavyweight. That context makes his comments about Joshua versus Paul even more interesting. Ruiz is not just a retired champion watching from the sidelines. He is an active contender who has a history with Joshua and a vested interest in how the heavyweight landscape looks after December 19th. If Jake Paul pulls off the unthinkable and beats Anthony Joshua, the division instantly looks very different. If Joshua wins big, it could set up fresh rematches or trilogies of fighters like Ruiz who still believe they have more to accomplish. For now, though, the focus is on the clash in December and whether Jake Paul can execute on the advice Andy Ruiz has given him. From a technical point of view, Paul's right hand is already his best weapon. In fight after fight, it has been the shot that either ends a contest or turns a tide. The question is whether he can land it with enough accuracy and power against a seasoned heavyweight like Joshua, who has seen nearly every style and has adjusted his defense over the years. Joshua, for his part, has spent the later part of his career trying to tighten up the same vulnerabilities fighters like Ruiz exposed. His team will no doubt be paying attention to comments like these, making sure he is prepared for overhand rights, counters, and surprise shots from unusual angles. But once the bell rings, all the talk fades, and it becomes about who executes better in real time. Fans are split. Some see Ruiz's comments as genuine, veteran insight, a former champion recognizing potential in an unconventional new star and offering him a real strategic blueprint. Others think it might be a bit of subtle psychological warfare aimed at Joshua, reminding him publicly of the same weakness that cost him his belts in 2019. Whatever the motive, the soundbite is out there, and it has added another layer to the already intense build-up for Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. What's clear is that Andy Ruiz is not writing Jake Paul off. He does not see December 19th as a foregone conclusion. In his mind, this is heavyweight boxing, where one punch can flip everything upside down. And he believes that if Jake Paul is going to flip it, It will be with that right hand, the same shot Paul has relied on since his early boxing days, and the same kind of punch Ruiz used to shock the world at Madison Square Garden. At the same time, Ruiz is using his platform to show a broader picture of what a modern fighter can be. A man who has headlined some of the biggest heavyweight events of the last decade is out in Los Angeles handing out turkeys, talking about food insecurity, and planning his own comeback, all while breaking down strategy for one of the most talked about fights of the year. So as December 19 approaches, the storyline is not just about Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, or YouTube versus boxing, old guard vs new wave. It's also about voices like Andy Ruiz, who sit in the middle of it all, battle-tested, respected, still active, and willing to tell the next man exactly what it might take to win. Whether Jake Paul can turn that advice into another heavyweight shock remains to be seen. But if he does connect with that right hand the way Ruiz suggests, the sport could be in for another Madison Square Garden type moment, this time on a different stage. For now, Ruiz is back in the gym, back in the community, and back in the headlines, reminding everyone that his story in heavyweight boxing is not finished, and that his insight still matters in a division where one punch, from the right hand at the right time, can change everything.